So, I think you owe me dinner, Juan.
It would be my pleasure, madame. You are a worthy opponent. My equal now, perhaps.
As she headed into the ladies' side of the locker room, she looked over her shoulder. Juan, that is a nice comment from you. Thank you. See you in 10 minutes, and I'll let you buy me a cerveza as well. We'll swap lies and see what else we have in common.
I think we have lots in common, and what isn't in common will still fit well together.
Juan, I think females have been too easy for you. Please remember, I am anything but easy. The 10 minutes Juan waited for Julie quickly became 40. But when she arrived at the car, Juan quickly decided it was well worth the wait. Juan smiled with appreciation as he lightly quipped, I see that the concept of the time-space continuum is consistent among females everywhere. I must say, however, your time-space gear is highly effective, and your landing approach is heartily approved. Please put your classy craft in the #1 stall of the hangar, madame. Julie stood patiently by the passenger side of the car until Juan grasped the concept of chivalry. He jumped from the driver's side and gentlemanly opened the passenger side door for Julie while taking another head-to-toe appraisal. Julie smiled as she got into the car and said, I thought you could be taught. Juan grinned and under his breath added, This evening is going to be a hoot.
Madame, you should understand that we have a vast array of dining choices that range from an excellent 5-star restaurant specializing in northern Italian cuisine, to vending machine food, specializing in botulism, and everything in between. We can even go hang out at the local mom-and-pop shop, wait until shift change, and look to purchase whatever rotisserie item is unsold after being there for 8 hours. Those are usually discounted quite heavily and a dining experience without equal. The ensuing intestinal cramps will be an additional bonus. After that, the sky is the limit with your choice of my favorite bowling alley, biker bowling, babes, and beer, where they have the most exquisite melted cheese and habaneros over chips. Always a date pleaser, but time-consuming as we'll need to fly into Texas. Or you're in luck as my favorite roller derby team, Wenches on Wheels, is supposed to be in town to face off against Beelzebub's Boiled Suckers. The roller ring specialty is chili cheese dogs covered with jalapenos served with a Maalox ice cream shake. What do you feel like, madame?
Julie struggled to suppress laughter and answered, Juan, I am so disappointed. Nothing at the bus station among our dining choices? Juan stared dumbfounded at Julie and asked,
You want me to fly out a what? People I get. Contraband I get. Drug dealers and their money I get. Beautiful fashion models I definitely get. But I don't get flying out a pig. What is this, some little pig that someone has as a pet or what?
Julie continued in a soothing tone. Franklin is considered a special test subject pig that weighs in at 135 kilos. I understand him to be well-mannered and well-liked, which is why he is part of the extraction. I will need to bring him along, and I need your cooperation. So why is this a problem for a man that can fly anything?
Well, for one thing, this plane doesn't belong to me. I don't want it smelling like a barnyard after the exercise is over because then I would have to explain to Lara, or worse, her father, so they won't freak out.
Okay, so we will put down newspaper and bathe him before we leave. Maybe we even get him some eau de bagnade cologne that will leave a nice scent after we are done. You know, with sort of an earthy quality to it so as to not be too sweet. Juan looked like he was clearly about to be overtaken by a panic attack as he struggled to calm down.
I'm not okay with this plan. I am many things, but a flying cattle car is not one of them. Julie, you're going to have to think of another way to get them out.
Julie sensed the turmoil inside Juan, shifted slightly to better align their skin, cranked up her smile a notch, then crooned in a very sultry voice, You're quite sure that there is nothing I can say or do that might persuade such a handsome man to lend his powerful physique and exquisite charm in an errand of mercy to pilot a group to a destination of safety? If I could but persuade you somehow that your efforts would yield such gratitude that no favor would or even could be refused? Juan stared blankly at her for a moment and asked,
Am I svelte too? I've always wanted to be called svelte.
She sensed he was collapsing like a cheap folding lawn chair as she soothed, Juan, my darling, you are handsome, powerful, charming, witty, well-bred, suave, debonair, and svelte male that no female can possibly resist.
Is that you, Juan? Jesus, I thought you were toast. Just a minute, Julie wants to... In the background, George's voice could be heard. Well, why don't you just take my phone and cut to the chase with him? He may be my boss, however, you do trump that as he is your husband. Julie snatched the phone, put it on speaker, and angrily asked,
Juan, are you all right? Damn it, I've told you about this. No more you going solo, mister. We are always going together. Got it, mister?
Now covered in a fine, white, chalky dust and sitting in a broken airplane in 50 degrees Celsius heat, Juan clucked his tongue and flatly asked, Oh, you want both of us to expire in the middle of West Fence Post, Australia, and leave 2 orphan children? Besides, you don't think I came unprepared for this contingency, do you? Juan transferred the Bluetooth and pocketed the phone, then zipped up his protective clothing and instigated the cooling system. Julie, now battling her fear, tears, and anger, relented a little and asked,
My husband, tell me you are all right and tell me where you are so we can come get you.
Juan rolled his eyes and replied, No worries, love. I've been shot down over the Australian desert. I'm baking like a good Mexican steak, and I'm staring at what looks to be a North Africa-style Sirocco windstorm heading this way. You know, the kind that takes the finished paint off your car along with the flesh on your bones, but not to worry. I've got my beach accoutrement. And if I get thirsty, I'll just go over to the Stop and Rob that I can see on the corner of this beach and order their damn big glug from its usually staffed Pakistani operator. So no worries, okay, sweetheart? George tried to interject, but Juan intercepted. And George, if you ask me about how much extra water I brought along after you warned me to do so, I will pay you back. Julie was contemplating her pending assignment in London when her cell phone chimed, alerting her that Juan was checking in. She answered with,
Hello, honey. How is my favorite partner?
Juan, somewhat distracted, answered, I'm okay, babe. Just overwhelmed and feeling a little inadequate here at Quip's data center. Geez, this guy is a mutant. He's working on 3 PCs at a time and coaching me in between, all while holding a call with EZ. What is it that Jacob says? It ain't bragging if you can do it. I used to think he was bragging, but I don't anymore. Anyway, enough on that. How did the assignment exercise go? Julie, being somewhat evasive, responded,
Oh, I think it went all right. There was a bit more friction than I expected. They wanted to double-team these assignments for cross-training purposes and, well, for better personal safety. A bit more cautious than I was going to suggest, but I want them to try this. They have some real chances to learn from each other.
Juan did the math in his head and then asked, Julie, doesn't that leave 1 AIM lead unaccounted for? With me not there, we have 1 lead not being pursued, unless you're going to split a team or you hired someone already. Julie, now trying not to answer, responded,
Honey, you know I'm perfectly capable of handling a simple sleuthing assignment by myself. I mean, after all, who taught this group their trade?
Juan fumbled with the phone, but finally grabbed it firmly and insisted, No, sweetheart, please. I don't want you to do it alone. I'll be back the day after tomorrow, and I can go do it. I don't want you at risk. Julie smiled at her husband's pleading concerns and said,
Yes, honey, you know I always do what I'm told. I've never worked on my own before either. I love you.
Juan, now feeling his insides rolling with uneasiness, bluntly stated, Julie, I know that tone, so promise me you won't go do this assignment. Then when you ignore my request, please be careful and cautious on the assignment that I know you are going to do even though you shouldn't. Julie smiled lovingly as Juan pleaded and promised,
Yes, honey, I'll be careful. Besides, it's just the babysitting one. Love you.